Good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been well over a year, if not a year and a half, since I made a video last. And the reason for that is I was doing a lot of other projects at the time and I just didn't have enough time to do everything I wanted to creatively. I was filming for Beach Grove Garden, which is a TV programme here in Scotland. I also have my own business. I make soft furnishings and everything just kind of kicked off at the same time. So I put down my camera and never picked it up again. But I'm back. I'm so glad to be doing this again. I love making content. I love the long format content. So the filming, the editing, this is obviously still quite new to me. So I'm not sure if I'm any good at it, but I do enjoy it. And I think that's what counts. So yeah, I'm in my kitchen. Excuse, I'm still in my nightie. I got the urge this morning when I woke up to come and add the first festive touches to my kitchen. It is November, so I feel like that gives me the green light to just do some little festive sprinkling here, there and everywhere. And I love this bow. I think I got that from Straw London a couple of years back. And the two little decorations on the side is just a candle and tucked into a pot of soil with some cones and some dried oranges. That was from maybe last year's tablescape. So I thought I'd just grab those and pop them up here and add a little bit of festiveness to my kitchen. Outside in the garden, we've got a lot of projects happening this winter. I'm really excited to share with you all. We are making over our kitchen garden, giving it a refresh and leveling off the area. It's currently on a slope, which has been fine to grow veg. Even the raised beds were at a slope and I mean, it's not a huge gradient, but it was fine to grow in. There wasn't massive issues with rainwater runoff or anything like that. But I'm just excited to give it a little bit of overhaul and level it off, create a tiered effect and a new layout. So stay tuned for that. This winter, we've committed to doing those couple of projects and some other hard landscaping bits as well, just to make the garden work for us. It is a very large space and it's just Andrew and I that maintain it all. We don't have any outside help. The plan is to just make it work for us a little bit better. And we're also moving our orchard really soon. I'll tell you more about that when we get to it, but needless to say, it's not quite working where it is. And we think we have a better spot for it. And the trees are still quite young enough to be moved easily. So we're going to tackle that as well. Excuse the state of me. I thought I'm just going to pick up my camera and start. So I need to go get myself ready. It's a Saturday morning. My eldest daughter turned 22 during the week and I want to take her into town today and buy her a few bits. That's what she wanted for her birthday. So when I say going to town, we're going to Edinburgh. We live about 30 to 40 minutes away. So that's the plan, to do that and then meet up with the rest of the fam, my younger daughter and Andrew as well. We're all going to go for dinner. Actually, before we go to town, I do want to get into the garden and plant the garlic that I received from the garlic farm. I cannot remember the varieties that I ordered, but I will open the box with you and let you know, because we've had some really good success with garlic growing here over the last 6 years. And that's down to sort of trying and testing different garlic varieties. And I'll share those with you, especially if you're growing in Scotland, because the climate here is quite damp. Rotting garlic is quite a common occurrence. So I'll share those with you. So I'm gonna go get dressed and get out into the garden. So I've popped some old clothes on because I'm going out to the garden. And I've got my delivery here from the garlic farm. So let me grab a pair of scissors. So every year I either order from the garlic farm or I'll save some of the garlic that I've harvested to act as seed garlic for the following year's harvest. But this year I've decided to try some new varieties. I tried Iberian White in the second year that I started growing. I think I've been growing garlic now for about 6-7 years, and I got stuck on that one because it made a really lovely big bulb. It was really good in the Scottish climate. It was tasty. So that was the soft neck variety, and the hard neck variety that I grow usually is called Carcassonne, and it is also just such good flavour. Not huge bulbs, but really good flavour. So just real quick, the difference between soft neck and hard neck. Soft neck produces a soft stem and has multiple cloves around the stem. That's the garlic that you'll often see braided once harvested, and it usually has a really good shelf life in comparison to hardneck garlic, which doesn't usually last as long, and it has a hard stalk that comes up the middle, and it's literally one layer of garlic around that hard stalk. So I usually do one variety of each every year. So from the garlic farm, they come in little bags like this. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just wanted to share, if you're looking for a good source of seed garlic, the garlic farm is the place to get it from. These are the soft neck variety. So this is Maddock White. So I'm going to grow these two. You can see the hard neck variety is generally a bit smaller, and we have an extra bed in what I call our courtyard area that will do perfectly for garlic. So I'm going to go prep that bed. It needs a top up of soil, and then I'm going to get these in the ground. This is the bed in the courtyard area. It's quite a good size. I think that is 2.4 meters by 1.2. I'm going to top it up because garlic is a heavy feeder, so I'm going to put in some really good compost, which I get from Caledonian Horticulture. So I use two types of compost. Ooh. The one is the kelpie compost, which has got the seaweed in it. That's really, really good. And then recently I started to use Green Goodness, which is an oil improver as well. I haven't got that much experience with the Green Goodness, but if it's half as good as the kelpie compost, I'll be very happy. So I've got a couple of bags of each. I need to grab some tools, which are probably in the shed. Ooh, it smells amazing in here. I've got some wreath supplies laid out, and I've had them there for about a week now, so hopefully I'll get to that this weekend. But what do I need? I've got my gloves, and I need my Hori Knife, which is really good for making holes. Where is that? There we go. Hori Knife, and I think that's it. Oh, so maybe some labels. We'll maybe use these ones. And that one. Right, first things first, I'm going to get rid of some of the leaves. I'm not too worried if some remain because they'll just break down in the soil. Really well. It can be snowed on, it can handle negative temperatures for weeks at a time, and that's fine, and they'll be absolutely happy in the soil. But what they don't like is soil that's not free draining. So anything that's holding too much moisture, the bulb is likely to rot off in the soil. So what you want to do is peel the bulb and leave the individual clothes with as much papery skin intact as possible. That's just your first layer of defense. And then you also want to make sure that the water's draining away as easily as possible and that the soil is fertile. As I said, garlic is a very heavy feeder and needs lots of good, rich compost to grow in. are lovely big bulbs. When you're planting garlic, you want to make sure you're planting it pointy side up, and then I just push it in until the soil is covering the top of the bulb. Into the boot room because it's cold outside today. It's making my nose run. The garlic is in. I haven't watered it in because it is meant to rain today, but if it doesn't, I will go back out and water it in. I think in total I have about 70 cloves planted, which will make 70 bulbs, all being well that none rot off. So yeah, fingers crossed that for a good harvest. Yeah, so I planted them about hand's width apart. You'll know if your soil is right if you can push them in very easily. If you can't, then you know your soil needs to be worked a little bit more to loosen it up, because if you can't push into the soil easily, then the bulbs won't be able to push out easily. So that's sort of my rule of thumb. Other than that, I'm so glad that that job is done. It is the beginning of November and it just feels really good to get them in. If you're planting anywhere between sort of end of September to middle of November, you'll be absolutely fine. They just need a really good cold period to bulb up well, somewhere sort of no less than about 11 weeks of cold weather, of good cold weather. And then I think because I planted in November, I'll be harvesting these right around somewhere sort of the end of June, beginning of July here in Scotland. I will feed them again in the springtime. I won't do anything with them now over the winter, and I'll just let the weather take care of watering them. If I have a really long dry spell, which would never happen, then I would go out and water them. But other than that, I'm just going to leave them to do their thing. It's made my hair frizz because it's slightly damp outside. So I'm going to go up and sort my hair out again and get changed and get ready to go into Edinburgh. Right, I'm a little bit smarter now. I have fixed my hair and added in lots of hairspray for today. And I've changed my outfit. Let me show you. So I'm wearing this little faux ruffle collar jumper that I've had for over 20 years. I actually bought it in Australia when my daughter was 1, maybe. So 21 years ago. And then I have on a House of Brewer collarless cropped blazer. Love this. I love those buttons. And then I've got on black jeans, black boots. I don't normally wear my boots or shoes in the house. I just pop them on to show you. Yeah, so that's my look for the day. Good morning. It's now Sunday. I left you as we were heading into Edinburgh yesterday, and we had such a lovely day and evening out. I took my daughter birthday shopping, and there's already Christmas lights everywhere. It was actually it's already quite festive. It was really nice, and we had such a good time. We went to the Alchemist for drinks, and then we had a spot of dinner, and we walked around the city and just admired the lights and took in the buzz. So yeah, as I said, it's Sunday today, and my husband is taking me on a date. I have no idea where we're going. I've been told to wrap up warm, so I'm excited. Good morning. I left you last at the beach. My husband had planned a date out, which he told me on the way there was actually meant to be, is it Easter Castle? Easter Castle? I'll pop it up on screen, the name of it, but it's apparently quite haunted. I actually don't know what he was thinking planning this date for us, because if you follow me on Instagram, you might remember we went on a walk in Peebles, and there is like an underground disused train line, and it's maybe about a mile long, and it's pitch black, and we decided to be brave and walk through it. I was absolutely petrified, and at the end of it I said to him, never again am I doing anything like that. He thought I would like going to visit a haunted castle, and yeah, no, not for me. So it was all underground, like cave rooms and like dungeons, and I'm like, no thank you. So instead we ended up at one of our favourite spots, which is by the beach in Gullen, and we had a lovely walk along the beach, and then he planned lunch at the Bonnie Badger, which was amazing. I'd never been there before. The food was delicious, and we had such a lovely day out. So yeah, that was yesterday, and now I'm back at work. It's getting to that busy time of year where I am sewing around the clock. My fingers hurt all the time. But yeah, lots happening today. I wanted to share with you my latest column. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably won't know a lot of these things. I write for Country Home and Interiors. I write a monthly lifestyle column for them, and I have done for over a year now. And my December column has just come out, and I don't know what it is about this one in particular, but I'm so proud of it. I absolutely love the track that it went down, and yeah, let me share with you. I don't think it will ever get old seeing my words and images in a major publication. I absolutely love doing this every month. It won't last forever because it is just kind of like a year and a half contract, but I will enjoy it while it lasts. There we are. So basically I wrote about our home through the years from when it was first built, which was in 1779, and all of the Christmases past and what it means to me. And I absolutely love this one. So if you're into buying magazines, please pick up the December copy of Country Home and Interiors magazine and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's a 3-page column that I write, and I usually pop in a recipe or a garden tutorial in the column as well, so there's always something useful in there. And before I forget, if you are in the market for inspiration for new Christmas decor or gift ideas, the magazine comes with this extra magazine, chock full of ideas for tablescapes, for Christmas trees. I mean, it's just absolutely fab. So I'm going to dive through that again later. I've already been through it once, but there's so much good inspiration in there. And before I forget, Caledonian Horticulture, the company that I bought the compost from to plant my garlic in, they have kindly enough given me a discount code to share with you guys. It is Diana10 for 10% off all of their products, and they do good stuff. They have everything from compost, topsoil, mulch, and they even have wood chips. They have raised bed kits. So if you're in need of any of those things, I'll pop all the details in the description box down below. This isn't sponsored. As I said, I purchased that compost, but I have worked with them in the past, and they've been kind enough to give me a code to share with you all. And on that note, everything that I've shared in this video, from any decorations I've used, the tools that I use in the garden, will all be linked in the description box. Right, it's almost lunchtime, so I think I'll head to the kitchen and make myself something yummy for lunch and a nice cup of tea before going to the shed. I don't think I'll have time to make the wreath that I planned on making today. That's not for any particular reason anyway, I just fancied putting something together. Instead, I am going to pot up the bulbs that I bought on my last food shop. I think I got 2 amaryllis bulbs and a little bag of bridal crown they smell amazing. And I'm usually not this organised, especially with things like paper whites for Christmas or anything for sort of Christmas displays. I usually start this around the beginning of December, which means I have everything blooming in January, but I'm a little bit more organised this year. And what I do have, if I plant it up today, could actually be blooming in time for Christmas. So yeah, let me crack on with that. My lunch was so good. It was smoked salmon and some white crab meat. I had in there some cos lettuce, spring onion, some dill, honey and mustard dressing, and I went back and just topped it with a squeeze of lemon. Absolutely delicious. I don't eat like that every day. It was just what was in the fridge. Normally I have soup and something simple like that for lunch, but that was just lovely. Anyway, I'm in the shed and I have the bulbs that I picked up from the supermarket. I have 2 amaryllis bulbs, a white one and a red one, very festive. And then I have this little, it's a terracotta pot, and it comes with the bridal crown bulbs in there. So I'm just going to pot these up and just get them going so that I have something for Christmas Day. I am going to order a bunch of paper whites though, because I have lots of different containers that I like to plant up for Christmas. I'm just going to get these going. So they normally come like this. Bulb looks quite chunky, and it normally comes with a coir brick, so you can just soak that in water and it expands, and you just pop that in there and then pop the bulb in. But I don't really like to use these plastic pots. I keep them and use them to pot on in the springtime. I don't really use them for arrangements. They're not pretty enough. Instead I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use a couple of these. I picked these up from the garden centre last year. They're just terracotta but in different colours. Well, I don't really think you'd call them terracotta then, but they're just sort of stone pots. And these ones are only £1.79, so that's pretty good value. So I have this darker grey colour that I really like, and I'll probably wrap a piece of ribbon around it. But I think it's just a lovely neutral backdrop for the quite vibrant flower. So I think I'm going to use 2 of those, because when I bought them with saucers. I did. Yeah, little saucers, and these were £1.79 as well. I still have the labels and everything. Perfect. So I'll use those. I need to give them a clean up, but once I've planted them, I'll do that. That's the first of my Christmas potted displays done. This one I might top with a little piece of moss later on. I need to collect some off the roof of our house, which I do every couple of years as it gathers, and it makes the perfect dressing for pots. So I'm going to do that. And then the narcissi I'll keep in the shed. I'll actually put them on a lower shelf under the staging because they like a cool dark spot around 5 to 10 degrees, and you leave them there for about 8 weeks, and then the shoots will appear, and then you bring them indoors somewhere light and bright at around 15 to 20 degrees. So I'll leave those in here, but the amaryllis can come in doors straight away. I'm not sure, this chap was an eager beaver, so it's quite leggy. That sort of yellowy stem obviously means it was searching for light, but I think it will be okay. I'll leave it for now and see what happens. But there is another shoot appearing. Let me just show you on the side here. So if nothing happens with this one, I might actually snip it. I'll probably do a little bit of research. I think it should actually just redirect the energy back into the bulb and produce another stem, or allow the other stems to come through. So I'll bring those indoors straight away. Yeah, and then I'll order some paper whites and do another batch. There is so much coming up on my channel over the next few weeks. I have my first overnight PR event away and a birthday trip, and I'll bring you along for both of those, plus all the garden makeover videos, the kitchen garden, moving the orchard, and another few little surprises as well. And don't forget to check the links down below where you'll also find that discount code for the compost.